How do you measure a 20,237-foot mountain without actually climbing it? Or how do you calculate the exact distance from the Earth to the Sun? You definitely aren't using a giant tape measure, right? Like a lot of seemingly impossible real-world problems, the secret lies in mathematical formulas.
These impossible distances, they're unlocked by something called trigonometric identities, specifically the sum and difference formulas. By the end of this explainer, you're going to understand exactly how these formulas work and how to use them to break down completely impossible angles into easy-to-solve bite-sized pieces.
Here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with measuring the impossible, then cover cosine sum and difference, sine sum and difference, tangent sum and difference, solving complex trig problems, and wrap it all up with a summary and next steps.
All right, let's dive right into Section 1, Measuring the Impossible, the building blocks of trigonometry.
Think of the special angles on the unit circle, like 30 degrees, 45 degrees, and 60 degrees, as snapped-together Lego bricks. If I ask you to find the exact value of a 75-degree angle, you might freeze up. 75 degrees isn't on our standard unit circle. But what if we treat it as a shape we can build using blocks we actually do know? 75 degrees is really just a 45-degree block snapped onto a 30-degree block. Finding the exact value of trigonometric functions gets infinitely easier when we rewrite an unknown angle in terms of two angles that we already know. This one simple idea is the absolute foundation of everything we're doing today.
So with that basic idea in mind, let's move to Section 2, Cosine sum and difference, setting up the scaffolding.
Here's our very first set of identities. For a sum, the cosine of alpha plus beta equals cosine alpha times cosine beta minus sine alpha times sine beta. And for a difference, alpha minus beta, the formula actually has a plus sign in the middle. Now wait a second, look closely at that. For cosine formulas, the mathematical sign in the middle of the expanded version is always the exact opposite of the sign inside the parentheses. That is a massive trap for students, so absolutely highlight that in your notes right now.
Now you might be wondering, because this comes up a lot, why can't I just distribute the cosine? Isn't cosine of 45 plus 30 just cosine 45 plus cosine 30? No way. Absolutely not. Trigonometric functions are operations. They aren't simple variables. You literally cannot distribute them like you would in basic algebra. These sum and difference formulas are the only proven way to correctly expand these terms.
Let's make this crystal clear with an example. Say we need to find the exact value of cosine 75 degrees. Step 1. Identify our known Lego blocks. We can write this as cosine of 45 degrees plus 30 degrees. Step 2. Substitute this into our sum formula. That gives us cosine 45 times cosine 30 minus sine 45 times sine 30. Again, notice that minus sign. Step 3. Pop in our known unit circle values. Root 2 over 2 times root 3 over 2 minus root 2 over 2 times 1 over 2. Just multiply those fractions out and boom, we get our exact value, the square root of 6 minus the square root of 2 all over 4. See, it's just a straightforward, step-by-step substitution.
Okay, we've got the scaffolding for cosine set up. Let's look at our next function in Section 3, sine sum and difference, flipping the script.
But before I throw more math at you, let's take a quick brain break. You know, these formulas didn't just fall out of the sky. The ancient Greeks actually discovered early versions of them, talking about them in terms of geometric chords. Then, around 950 AD, a Persian astronomer formally derived the modern trigonometric identities we're looking at right now. And today, we're still using this exact same 1,000-year-old math to calculate those massive real-world distances we talked about earlier. Pretty cool, right?
All right, let's get back into it and look at the sine sum and difference identities. Unlike cosine, the sine formulas actually mix the functions together. It's sine alpha times cosine beta plus cosine alpha times sine beta. And here is the crucial point for your notes this time. The mathematical sign in the middle stays exactly the same. Plus stays plus and minus stays minus. It's a totally different pattern from what we just saw with cosine. Let's test this pattern out by evaluating the sine of 45 degrees minus 30 degrees. Step 1, we just write the difference formula for sine, making sure we mix the functions and keep that minus sign intact. Step 2, we substitute our angles in. Sine 45 cosine 30 minus cosine 45 sine 30. Step 3, we drop in those known unit circle values, multiply them out, and simplify to get root 6 minus root 2 all over 4. It's the exact same substitution process we just did for cosine, we're just mapping it to a different formula.
We're making great progress here. Let's tackle our third trigonometric function in section 4, tangent, sum, and difference, combining our knowledge.
Now, finding exact values for the tangent of a sum or difference might look a bit intimidating at first glance. But remember, tangent is really just sine divided by cosine. So the formula for tangent is actually derived by taking the quotient of the sine and cosine formulas we literally just learned. Here's the sum formula. Tangent alpha plus tangent beta, all divided by 1 minus the product of tangent alpha and tangent beta. I know, it looks like a big, heavy, complex fraction, but don't let it scare you. It's just another pattern to recognize.
Let's work through this step by step using radians this time, just to prove that our fundamental building block logic holds true no matter what units we use. We want to find the exact value of tangent pi over 6 plus pi over 4. Step 1. Substitute those angles into the sum formula we just looked at. Step 2. Determine the individual tangent values. Tangent of pi over 6 is 1 over root 3, and tangent of pi over 4 is a nice, easy 1. Step 3. Plug those values in to create our complex fraction. Once we do the algebra to simplify it down, we end up with root 3 plus 1 over root 3 minus 1. See what I mean? The formula really does all the heavy lifting for us. Okay, it is time to take everything we've learned so far and really level up. Section 5. Solving complex trig problems, integrating inverse functions and reference triangles.
Take a look at this problem. Find the exact value of the sine of inverse cosine of 1/2 plus inverse sine of 3/5. Okay, if your brain is screaming at you to panic right now, take a deep breath. Yes, it looks like a monster, but look closely at the underlying structure. It maps perfectly onto our sine of alpha plus beta pattern. We just have to figure out what alpha and beta actually are.
This is honestly brilliant because it shows how everything in trigonometry connects. Step 1. Let alpha equal that inverse cosine, and let beta equal the inverse sine. Step 2. We construct reference triangles, or use Pythagorean identities, to find the missing side links. Doing this, we figure out that sine of alpha is root 3 over 2, and cosine of beta is 4 over 5. Step 3. Suddenly we have all 4 of our required Lego blocks. We apply our sine sum formula, drop in our fractions, and multiply. Our final exact answer is 4 root 3 plus 3, all over 10. By simply trusting the formula, we systematically dismantled a really intimidating expression.
Fantastic work making it through that. That brings us to our final wrap-up. Section 6, Summary and Next Steps, reviewing the building blocks.
Let's do a quick recap of the critical concepts you really need to take away from this explainer. First, seemingly impossible angles, you can solve them by building them out of known unit circle angles. Second, remember your specific formula rules. Cosine formulas flip the mathematical sign, while sine formulas mix the functions up but keep the sign exactly the same. Third, tangent formulas are just a quotient derived from sine and cosine. And lastly, when you run into those scary inverse functions, rely on your reference triangles to find your missing building blocks. Before we finish up, I want to leave you with a bit of a provocative thought. All of the sum formulas we used today involved 2 different angles, alpha and beta. But what happens if alpha and beta are the exact same angle, like alpha plus alpha? Well, asking that question is your gateway to double angle formulas, and it's going to completely transform how you view these ideas.